For the fifth straight season, the Toledo Walleye will play in the Western Conference Finals. They find a way to come back from a 2-1 series deficit. They win 3 straight against Fort Wayne, and they are moving on. Just to move on and keep this team going, how special is it to keep this group together and have the season still going?
Well, they all understand, they're a week away from having their season over just about at any point. And so it's you got to stay on task with what's most important, and that's just having a team mentality and taking care of our own business when we have the opportunity to.
I know you've only been here for 2 of them, but for 5 straight years, this team has gone to the Western Conference Finals. What's it say about the organization and the place that it's in right now?
Well, I knew I was very fortunate when I got to come. There's a tradition here, there's an expectation here that is to be the top team in the Central Division, and it's not an easy task. Our division's a very strong division, deep division, so it's kind of a credit to the entire group and the staff. All the way down to how Brad makes sure that the players are healthy, and Jonesy making sure that we're in quality shape and we can be strong throughout an entire 72-game schedule and still be that team that, could go out and be the best team in the playoffs.
I asked you about this on the TV broadcast, but walk me back to a year ago in Kansas City, kind of the emotions of losing that and how much has that kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, it hurts. And, we had a slow start to that series. And so that's probably a great learning lesson for all of us is we got to be all toes in right away and making sure that we're not feeling out the process against a very good Kansas City team. We'll respect them, but understand that our game is a tough matchup for everybody.
All right, you guys are down 2-1 in this series, and you find a way to win 3 straight. You face a little adversity. How did you guys kind of figure things out and win 3 straight?
Yeah, I think just real credit to the group, just sticking together. There's going to be highs and lows throughout the playoffs, and I think that was, obviously after Game 3, we thought, we probably deserved to win that game and go up 2-1, but it's just kind of, like I said, just credit to the group, staying with it. We really knew we were playing good hockey, and I think, even though, we kind of stole some games in Fort Wayne, I think we just did a good job of finding a way, and that's what good teams do at this time of the year.
You were one of the guys that was on this team a year ago when you lost to Kansas City. What do you remember maybe about the emotions coming off the ice that game, and how excited are you guys to get another chance there?
Yeah, obviously left a sour taste. We have a good amount of guys on that team from last year, and I think it'll be a good test. They're a great team again this year. Obviously we didn't get to see them in the regular season, so it'll be good to face a new team. They haven't seen us, we haven't seen them, and it's going to be a really good test, and we're looking forward to being able to answer that and kind of push forward. We've fallen short in this position twice in a row now, and we're just kind of looking forward to get over that hump, and it's going to start with Game 1, and you got to do it on the road.
You guys, I know you haven't been part of all of them, but you've been part of a few of them now to get to the Western Conference Final 5 straight times as an organization. What does it kind of say about the standpoint where this organization is?
Yeah, that's the expectation. I think that's the standard, and for us right now, I think it's how do we get over that hump, and that's going to be a big kind of talking point as we kind of get closer to Game 1. Is all right, we've been playing good hockey these past 2 rounds, but how do we keep getting better? How do we keep evolving our game and keep climbing the mountain? Like I said, there's going to be highs and lows. We might fall down in that series 2-1, who knows? But we got to be resilient. We got to be able to face adversity, and I think when our back's against the wall, that's when our team's at its best.
All right, for you to be able to contribute in a game this big, how cool of a moment was that for you tonight?
It was really cool. I couldn't tell you the last time I scored 2 goals in a game. So to do it tonight, it's pretty special, and it was fun to be a part of.
I'm sure you had heard about Toledo before you signed here a few weeks back. Has it kind of lived up to the expectation of what you thought?
Yeah, it has, and I've played with a bunch of guys that I've actually ended up playing here, and so they text me when I ended up signing here about how awesome this place is, and yeah, I think it's lived up to it and more. So.
For this team, you guys are down 2-1 in the series. You're facing some adversity. How did you guys battle through that and come out and win the next 3?
Like I told you during the intermission, I've been here a short time, but when we play our game, I don't think we're a tough team to beat, and I think we just knew that. And give credit to the older guys in the leadership; they kept pushing that message through, and obviously we found a way, and it feels good.
So games 1 and 2 of the Western Conference Finals will be on the road in Kansas City coming up on Thursday and Saturday, and then the Fish will be home the following week on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for games 3, 4, and 5. Of course, you can follow our playoff journey the entire time at ToledoWalleye.com.